everyone, it's me, and today, Minions, what are they? Oh, so cute. Adorable! Let's go, soccer, football. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Yes! Come on, come on. Kick more, kick more. Come on, come on. Good job, good job, good job, good job, good job, good job.
Hello Internet, welcome to Film Theory.
Hello Internet, welcome to Film Theory. Hello. That's cute.
The show that's now accepting applications for henchmen. We don't do dental, but we can get you matching overalls and 3 months of karate classes. Today we're talking about the Minions, the adorable little tic-tac creatures first introduced in the 2010 movie Despicable Me. Now, admittedly, I was a latecomer to this franchise, so I was always confused to hear how successful these films were. I mean,
yes, case in point, this is billions of dollars involved.
A kids movie with the word despicable in the name? It's a weird choice. Aren't most kids movies named something simple like Dog Goes Home or I Love Train? And then you have yourself the main character, a middle-aged criminal named Felonious Gru. He's not cute, certainly not cuddly, and he's definitely not your typical children's protagonist. I mean, what was it about these films that had people so addicted?
Oh, me. I know. I guess it is the Minions. Oh, fun fact, it's 2010. That's more than a decade ago. More than a decade ago. People watching this when they was young are grown adults, probably their parents right now.
Oh, there it is.
Ooh.
Yep, there's the secret sauce, friends. Simple design, bright and colorful, talking in a silly language. The Minions just seem engineered to trigger something primal in human brains. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. True story, my son Oliver is 2, and despite never seeing anything with these creatures, no videos, no movies, no nothing, he fell in love with them at Christmas after seeing their inflatables on people's lawns. He literally would go up to these things in strangers' front yards and hug them. It eventually led me to steal one of them from the set of a Mr. Beast Christmas video. Sorry about that.
Sorry, Mr. Beast.
Well, Jimmy, figured you didn't want it. Needless to say, Ollie loved it. I got you some Minions, Bean! And it suddenly clicked how these movies earned at least $3.5 billion, becoming the most profitable Universal Studios films in their 100-year history. But what are they, exactly, outside of merchandising gold? I mean, if you pay attention to the Minionverse, you see that both Bruce Willis and Gollum exist, that vampires and werewolves are real. And thanks to a cameo in The Secret Life of Pets, it's also a world with talking animals. But in this universe full of bizarre and supernatural creatures, these indestructible bipedal pill people are probably some of the most noteworthy, and
true, indestructible.
That's what I aim to discuss today. Because let me tell you, friends, when you look into the lore of these movies, something is clearly amiss. The Minions are hiding a secret. Or should I say, most of the Minions are hiding a secret. And that's the fact that most of them aren't actually Minions at all. Get ready to be illuminated about Illumination Entertainment's biggest, smallest cash cows.
Get it. Illuminated by illumination.
Today, I'm exposing the Minions. No, not like that. Now, some of you, I'm assuming the parents out there watching who've been forced to consume these movies so many times that it would be used as an interrogation technique in Guantanamo, are probably saying, Pat, they have a whole movie dedicated to their origin story. It's called Minions, and the whole opening sequence is dedicated to their evolution. And yes, my poor beleaguered viewers, your repeated consumption of child-focused mass media hasn't gone in vain. During the opening moments of their solo spin-off movie Minions, we're treated to a breakdown of their development.
Minions have been on this planet far longer than we have.
First, we see them as single-cell organisms in the ocean millennia ago. Eventually, these invertebrates grow a spine, both literally and figuratively, and bravely walk out of the ocean looking largely like they do in the modern day. Big eyes, walking on 2 legs, language still a mix of French, Spanish, English, and mush, which, wait a minute, it means that all human language probably originated from them? Oh, that is terrifying! Anyway, we're told that from the beginning, their goal has always been to serve the most despicable master that they can find. From the biggest baddest amoeba to terrifying dinos, Count Dracula, and even Napoleon himself. Even the official movie synopsis backs this up. So why am I doing a whole theory about figuring out what these guys are when the movies tell us what they are? Well, because that isn't our whole story. In that prequel movie, we witness all the minions that exist. We see their society leave the ocean, we see their journey across time and their various new masters, we see the era where they hole up in an ice cave waiting to find a new villain to follow. If you pause the widest of wide shots in this movie, you see that the total minion population is about 230. Yeah, I counted. No, it's
Okay, MadPat, you have better things to do, right? I'm sorry.
worth noting that that number doesn't change. Despite this movie covering centuries, we're following the same minions the entire time. One way to prove this is by tracking specific minions throughout each scene. Whether it's prehistory or the French Revolution, the same set of characters exist. Same design, same personality. They do not die. But you don't even have to go that far. The creator of the minions, Pierre Coffin, has outright confirmed that fact in an interview with HuffPost. Quote, "Minions are so dumb that they couldn't be girls. Once you start saying, well, they do reproduce and it happens this way, it obviously becomes awkward. And so, however many minions exist now is the same number that have existed through the centuries. They are basically immortal. Except there's a huge problem with this. In later movies of the timeline, we see way more minions. Not just a couple hundred, mind you, but a couple thousand. In fact, we know that Gru has an army of exactly 10,400 minions who live in this cavernous lair where they construct missiles, cook jelly, and also clean his house. We know that this massive number is correct because of a social media post made back in 2013 on the Despicable Me Facebook page, which gives us the exact figure. And honestly, it seems plausible. Movies that canonically fall later in the series show countless thousands of minions gathering to hear Gru's announcements in the lab. So how did we go from 230 to 10,400 when, remember, they're creatures that do not reproduce but also do not die?
They are unable to be reproduced, but they cannot die. So how did their number increase? I'm sorry, I'm Naruto fan.
Well, it can only mean one thing. The vast majority of the minions aren't actually minions. They're minion copies. Gru, recognizing the indestructible strength of the creatures, copied them, cloned them, rebuilt them,
Wow!
did something to replicate the amazing abilities of the 230 original minion creatures, which means that in the series there are over 10,000 minions that aren't actually minions, but rather minion knockoffs. So then, what are they exactly? Biological? Technological? I wanted to see how far I could take it, so I kept digging. My first guess was that these copies were robots. We see in the first movie, Despicable Me, that the knockoff minions are able to survive without oxygen. We learned this after a minion drinks some formula in Gru's lab, inflating him and sending him off into Earth's outer atmosphere. This particular minion also proves that they can survive in the most extreme of temperatures. At the end of the movie, we see this guy once again, still alive and floating around through space where he gets hit by Gru's rocket. Considering that it can reach temperatures of minus 455 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 265 Celsius in space, these guys are resilient. And what's more, this minion seems legitimately cozy while it's floating around, despite the fact that it might never return to Earth and could potentially float into the void of space for eternity, like some G-rated version of Gravity. Lastly, the minions apparently don't need food or water. Sure, they like bananas, but clearly eating isn't necessary for their survival, considering yet again, this guy's been floating around in space for weeks without so much as a sandwich.
Let me try this. Ba 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 na na ba 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 da na na ba 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 na na ba 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 ba. I'm sorry.
Being said, there were a few problems with the robot theory. First, the butt. In the first two films, we learned that the minions can fart.
For your years of service, the 21 Falcon salute. I counted 22.
This implies the existence of a digestive tract, whether or not they need the food to actually survive. We also know that, while they can't die and, well, deadly explosions merely elicit a giggle, they can feel small amounts of pain. Like here, where we see one of the minions hit on the head with a hammer. But what kills the robot cyborg angle is Despicable Me 2, when they're hit by the PX41 mutagen, a mutagen that alters the DNA of a creature to transform it into a killing machine. And sure enough, they mutate into uber minions that can swallow missiles without issue, and they eventually mutate back into regular minion alien forms. This means that they have DNA. If they were robots, the gas wouldn't be able to mutate their genetics. Something else is going on. No, I'm gonna tell you what's really going on here. The truth hiding beneath the surface of these kids' movies. The first clue as to what's really happening is a teeny moment from a few frames in the first Despicable Me. In the background of the girls' room, there's a minion blueprint that actually lets us know that we're onto something. That some of these imposter minions have indeed been manufactured by Gru. We see in this plan that they're made from something called gelato matter. I'm assuming a play on ice cream. Then they have dentures and have a brain the size of a peanut. The existence of this blueprint leads me to believe that Gru and his assistant, Dr. Nefario, have either replicated or created a brand new race of subservient creatures based off the original minions. There's actually further proof of this in the Despicable Me short film Orientation Day, where we watch a training film for new minions. In it, we see this infographic, a single strand of DNA being replicated out to form hundreds of minions. They're clones. Based on early evidence from the first two films, it seems that Gru and Dr. Nefario, after encountering the OG minions, that first batch of 230, began to replicate them via a single strand of DNA, filling out the ranks with copies made of gelato matter and dentures, until the ranks had expanded to 10,400, which, gotta admit, is pretty wild. Also proves that Gru and Dr. Nefario are brilliant geneticists who probably could be making a lot more money curing cancer, or, you know, creating vaccines rather than stealing the Statue of Liberty from Las Vegas.
Yeah, especially when we are experiencing a global pandemic right now. So vaccines, very important. Thank you so much.
The best part of this theory, though, is that if you go back to Despicable Me 2 and 3, you can tell that there's a group of minions that Gru favors above and beyond the others. Why? Well, it's because they're the real ones. He's been working with that original group of 230 minions since 1968, and since the minions don't die and haven't been able to kill him like they tend to do with their masters, he's been able to bond with that original group. That's why the original crew go to his wedding in Despicable Me 2 and have their own clubhouse in Despicable Me 3 that is separate from where the other 10,000 plus clones live. One final added wrinkle to the backstory. In 2012, the Minion Mayhem ride at Universal Studios was opened. The introduction to the ride suggests that Dr. Nefario and Gru have found a way to turn humans into minions via the Minionizer, a gun that alters human genetics and turns them into the impervious henchmen. So that pretty much confirms our genetic cloning theory. But could it also mean that some of the minions are human? Maybe, but since the ride came into existence 2 years after the first film, it's likely the 10,400 minions that Gru had at the time aren't human. But if that number continues to grow, you now know how it happens. Minions are humans! So there you have it, friends. As much as it might seem like the title of this video was clickbait, it's not. The minions in Minions aren't actually minions.
Alright, so you're trying to say that, that's a touchy topic.
Vast majority of what we call minions in this franchise are actually clones of the original 200. The biggest issue now, though, is what you do with them. I mean, Gru won't always be around to watch over these guys. He's opened a yellow cylindrical Pandora's box by creating so many of these evil-seeking creatures. The world is lucky that the minions found Gru, who, from 1968 to 2010, seemed more interested in committing non-violent crimes that involved stealing large electronics. But when he's gone, what comes next? In Minions, it only took 3 henchmen to steal the Queen's crown and become ruler of England. In Despicable Me 2, one evil minion plowed its way through security measures and hundreds of feet of concrete. If a lucky evil person is able to acquire their services, they'll have an army of morally corrupt employees who are just waiting for chaos. The 200 or so original minions helped carve out massive chunks of world history. Imagine what 10,400 of them can do. In the movies, Gru kinda sucks at being a criminal. He's just not good at being evil. But when Gru decided to clone the minions, he actually did the most evil thing he possibly could have. He doomed the world to have to keep these things in check forever. Sure, the minions may appear to be dutifully serving a singular master, but by cloning 10,000 of them, it's all of us who will be forced to serve them.
And think about it as in forever, as in literal forever. When you die, when your children die, when your grandchildren die, when you're not born, great-grandchildren, great, a million years later, your entire species die. They will still be around. Now that's awkward.
But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
Oh, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you find this video very interesting and quite unique and special to watch, isn't it? If you do like this video, please remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you have anything to share with us. Don't forget to follow my channel and sincerely appreciate all of the support and encouragement for my work. Thank you so much and yeah, comment down below. Thank you. Once again, if you do like this video, remember to like, share, subscribe, comment and follow. But hey, that's just a theory, a film theory, and cut. Thank you. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye bye! Subscribe! Thank you!